The morning sun cut through the mist over the jagged mountain ridges as she discovered her corral empty. Her last horse, the one tied to memories of her late husband, was gone. Rage twisted her face, eyes burning like wildfire. She followed the faint tracks into the canyon, each step echoing her heartbeat. The wind whispered through the pines, carrying an ominous chill. Somewhere in the shadows, she could feel the presence of the mountains themselves, as if they recognized her grief and anger. The thieves, confident and laughing, had no idea the widow they mocked was the mountain ghost, a name whispered in fear across the valleys. She moved silently, her every step deliberate, her mind sharp with vengeance. As the canyon narrowed, she crouched behind a boulder, studying their camp. The stolen horse neighed, panicked, but she remained hidden, letting the wind carry her voiceless fury. The night before, she had promised herself justice, and now the mountain itself seemed to conspire with her. Shadows twisted, rocks became her allies, and she felt the pulse of the land coursing through her veins, unstoppable, untamed, and deadly. The thieves celebrated under the moon, careless and drunk, thinking the widow had vanished with grief. Their laughter echoed across the cliffs, bouncing between rocks, oblivious to the silent figure perched above them. She watched, calm and terrifying, eyes glowing with the fury of someone who had nothing left to lose. Each stolen item, each cruel word they had tossed her way, fueled the fire inside her. The mountain wind carried a soft, almost ghostly whistle, her presence masked by nature itself. She slipped closer, boots silent against stone, and for a moment became less human and more myth, the mountain ghost everyone feared. The campfire flickered across their faces, showing only arrogance and ignorance. They didn't notice the shadows deepening behind them, the sudden hush of the wildlife around. A low growl of warning from a nearby cliff startled a horse, making it stomp. One thief moved to calm it, and that was all the opening she needed. Her blade flashed, precise and terrifying. In moments, chaos erupted, ropes snapped, fires roared, and screams cut the night. The mountain held its breath as the widow's vengeance descended like a storm. The stolen horse bolted toward freedom, its reins freed in her hands, its fear turning to recognition as she approached. Her movements were swift, almost fluid, as she guided it back toward the safety of the trees. The thieves lay scattered, groaning, some fleeing, others too terrified to move. She spoke no word, only let her eyes blaze with the warning carved into her legend. The mountain shadows stretched long, and it felt like the earth itself had risen to shield her. Memories of her husband, lost but never forgotten, surged through her, and she whispered a silent promise of protection, not just for herself, but for the mountain that had become her home and her weapon. Every snapped branch, every echo of hoof against stone, marked the reclaiming of what was hers. The thieves would carry the story of the mountain ghost for the rest of their lives, a tale of terror and respect. She didn't pursue them, she didn't need to. Her vengeance had already become myth. The stolen horse nuzzled her shoulder, recognizing her as the spirit that the valley whispered about, the living shadow no one dared challenge. As dawn broke, the valley shimmered in golden mist, and she stood on the ridge, her horse beneath her, the wind teasing her hair. The thieves' cries were distant echoes swallowed by the vastness of the mountains. Her legend had grown another chapter tonight, one of justice delivered by a widow who had nothing left to lose. She looked down at the valley, serene, yet ruthless, the land around her alive with silent approval. The mountain trails, the cliffs, the rivers, they all belonged to her now, and no thief, no coward, would ever claim her possessions again. The horse neighed softly, and she whispered, almost as if to the wind itself, that the mountain ghost would always watch. Her silhouette merged with the rocky horizon, untouchable and eternal. In the villages below, rumors would spread of a ghostly figure who protected the mountain, a widow whose heart was fire and whose vengeance was absolute. She felt no fear, only freedom and purpose. Justice was hers, reclaimed with silent precision, and the mountain had witnessed it all, a ghost, a widow, a force no one would dare test again.